martial law. One-sided. It is a big idea. Propagandists from a new world order.
With skillful manipulating of the press, they're able to make the victim look like the criminal, and the criminal look like the victim.
We love what's happening.
We're here preliminarily that the first strike
America,
was
we can do it.
I welcome you to Make It Plain TV.
They have their whole goddamn family standing in line. Nipsey Hussle's mom looks a lot like a male.
Oh, that's fucked up. Wow.
Dad looks a lot like a female, so go figure.
Wow.
I haven't seen any of them. Where are they showing his mom and dad? 11, they're showing highlights from the funeral. No, I'm on channel 11 and they're not showing any fucking highlights. Now, what they should have done is after the funeral, they should have drove the motherfucker and put him in the ground before he starts stinking up the place.
Wow.
Think when they're alive, I can only imagine what they smell like when they're dead.
Wow. Disrespectful motherfucker.
If they go in there and enforce anything, they'll...
The Black Panthers are recruiting criminals and hoodlums and encouraging them to engage in a broad range of terrorist activities. They are the greatest threat to the internal security of this country. We want to make it clear to black youth that if they want to be revolutionaries, they will be dead revolutionaries.
Chess, on the other hand, you have to think 10 moves ahead. You have to think many, many moves ahead. You got to look at how the whole game is being played. You have to look at all types of pieces that are being manipulated by other entities. You have to be very aware of certain entities before you win the game. And we, unfortunately, too many of us, we think like checkers players. We don't want to look at chess in the game of life. We don't want to look at life as a chess game, and we don't want to acknowledge how other entities can move certain pawns, rooks, and other players. This is something that we have to really be cognizant of. And nothing shows this more than the case with our brother, again, Nipsey Hussle. And for those who don't know, we've been talking about it for the past few days, and you know, this is still a fresh topic with our brother Nipsey Hussle being murdered here in Los Angeles. You know, the energy is still real funny style in the air. And we have to look at this whole thing, and we got to be realistic about it. We got to be realistic about it. And also we got to be realistic about the way certain people are reacting to it. Now, those of us like myself, I believe that there is a greater conspiracy at hand. I said that from day one. But if you notice, there are a lot of people, I won't say people, there are a lot of accounts online. Notice, family, how so many people or accounts online are trying to detour people from looking at it from a conspiratorial perspective. Notice how there's a lot of people who's really adamant about saying this ain't no damn conspiracy. This is nothing but black on black crime. You see all these people trying to use this as an opportunity to keep steering the narrative to what about black on black crime and how bad black people are. You notice that? There's a lot of that, and we can't ignore that. We can't ignore that fact. And we got to see where that's coming from. Where's that narrative coming from? Why are certain people engaging in that narrative? Because when we look at this case, we got to be very clear. There's something more to what we're being told when we look at this case. There's way more to it than what we are being told, ladies and gentlemen. We got to be very realistic about that.
Term is the establishment's most effective method to dismiss legitimate inquiries, control the parameters of debate, condemn the criticism of authority, deceive the public, and conceal the truth. The mainstream media's agenda is clear. They want you to believe that conspiracies don't exist, the world is exactly like they say it is, and anyone who disagrees is to be marginalized, mocked, and shamed. True investigative journalism would genuinely examine the evidence, rationally debate the issues, and logically come to conclusions. But instead, the corporate mainstream media shamefully resorts to deceptive tactics, incessant ridicule, and hostile name-calling. But it wasn't until the 1960s that the conspiracy theory phrase acquired its negative connotations and became commonly used as a derogatory, pejorative slur. The CIA who ultimately weaponized the term when it was adopted as the fundamental component in their propaganda campaign to oppose conspiracy theories. In 1967, the CIA essentially weaponized the conspiracy theory term and engaged in information warfare when it sent a detailed memo to all of its bureaus titled Countering Criticisms of the Warren Commission Report, which was the government's official investigation into the JFK assassination. The memo begins with the CIA expressing their concerns, stating that from the day of President Kennedy's assassination on, there has been speculation about the responsibility for his murder in a new wave of books and articles criticizing the commission's findings. Critics speculating as to the existence of some kind of conspiracy, implying the Warren Commission was involved, and that Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson himself benefited and was in some way responsible for the assassination. Conspiracy theories have frequently thrown suspicion on our own organization because we were directly involved and contributed to the investigation. This trend of opinion is a matter of concern to the US government and our organization because it affects the whole reputation of the American government and casts doubt on the leadership of American society. Despite being marked "Destroy when no longer needed," the dispatch was released 9 years later in response to a New York Times Freedom of Information Act request and is available online. The memo was marked Psych, short for Psychological Operations, or PSYOP, and CS, short for Clandestine Services. The memo outlines a detailed series of actions and techniques to counter and discredit the claims of conspiracy theorists. Its directives include instructing agents to, quote, employ propaganda assets to refute the attacks of the critics, adding, book reviews and feature articles are particularly appropriate for this purpose, advising covert assets in the media to ignore conspiracy claims unless discussion is already taking place, and directing agents to remind their friendly elite contacts, especially politicians and editors, of the Warren Commission's integrity and urge them to use their influence to discourage unfounded and irresponsible speculation. CIA document 1035-960 further outlines additional talking points to counter conspiratorial arguments, stating, the following arguments should be useful. Claim the charges of the critics are without serious foundation and based on unreliable eyewitness testimony. Claim that it would be impossible to conceal such a large-scale conspiracy. Claim that further speculative discussion only plays into the hands of the opposition. Claim that, quote, no significant new evidence has emerged. Accuse theorists of falling in love with their theories. Claim conspiracy theorists are wedded to their theories before the evidence was in. Accuse theorists of being politically motivated. Accuse theorists of being financially motivated. The government and media continue to rely on the conspiracy theory pejorative label, paired with the PSYOP tactics found in this memo, to dismiss conspiracy allegations to this day. The CIA's strategy to make conspiracy belief a target of ridicule and hostility is arguably the most successful propaganda campaign in modern history.
Get his plans together, and that's where life as he knew it came to an end.
All right, here we go. Oh, oh, yeah, right there. Oh, try that one on. There it is, man.
You a coach or something? I know you ain't from around here.
I'm Roger. How you doing, Tommy? Nah. I just came looking for you, man.
Looking for me for what?
When I heard that police finally had you in custody, I wanted to come down and just meet you in person. Don't get nervous. A lot of agents here. So what I think you should do is just pay attention and listen to me. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you a choice, man.
I got a choice?
Yeah, you got a choice. I'm going to offer you some freedom. You know, you're in a lot of trouble. Without us, you go to jail. You go to jail forever. You understand?
So who I gotta blast?
He calls himself the minister. It's your job to get into his organization and learn his ways. On New Year's Eve, he's having the biggest gathering, World's Day of Reckoning, at the Armory in Harlem. On that very night, you will terminate this fucker. We'll do everything in our power to help you. We'll give you all the help that's necessary. But be warned, we've got a lot of operatives in place. And if you show any weakness, or if you betray us, it'll be your resignation. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Don't fuck around, Buns.
YG and Nipsey Hussle's video got shut down by cops for an anti-Trump song that's called Donald Trump.
I think we got kicked out because we're a group of black people, and like I guess people, what's going on in America, they're afraid we're gonna say something.
It has been widely understood for some time now that the human body will respond to stimulation in various ways using electromagnetic fields, if they are pulsed at very specific frequencies. In the early 2000s this idea went a little further, and a patent was filed which showed that most modern-day TVs and computer monitors had the ability to create these needed electromagnetic fields at the required frequencies, simply by pulsing the image being displayed in a very specific manner. They found that by doing this technique while a person was nearby, they could easily manipulate various aspects of that person's nervous system. As a bit more detail, the patent summarized the final findings as follows. Computer monitors and TV monitors can be made to emit weak low-frequency electromagnetic fields merely by pulsing the intensity of displayed images. Experiments have shown that the half a hertz sensory resonance can be excited in this manner in a subject near the monitor. The 2.4 Hz sensory resonance can also be excited in this fashion. Hence, a TV monitor or computer monitor can be used to manipulate the nervous system of nearby people. So what are your thoughts? Were you aware that this technique was even possible? Does it concern you that a wide range of electronic devices in your home are capable of this technique, from your TVs and computer monitors, to your compact fluorescent lamp light bulbs, to your smart appliances and smart meters, and more?
Why this happened, or what the deal is with this situation. He said, I'm gonna read this to you. Since then, Samuel has been trying to come to terms with what happened, but it's hard to know who to trust. His brother's death feels like an execution. He wonders if the attack was a hit job or if Holder was simply jealous. It doesn't make sense that somebody from the area that just snuck up and just talked to him and shook his hand minutes before, it's mind-boggling. So we've been given like multiple different versions of what could have happened with this. We've heard that Nipsey outed this dude as a snitch, told him to get lost. He was upset, came back, and took Nipsey's life. That was one of the versions. Then people are saying Nipsey, that this dude was just jealous of Nipsey. It was hate, and that's why. So what is the truth behind this situation? I think listening to Black Sam, we can definitely take some away from this whole thing. So a lot of people out there now are stuck on that it's just, the fact that this dude was a hater and he was jealous and that's why he took Nipsey's life. Black Sam, though, has not ruled out that there was something deeper, and I think that's important to factor into this situation.
This channel is dedicated to bringing truth to power and engaging our enemy with intellectual warfare. The dominant society will never switch up their playbook, so we must make a new one. The war we find ourselves in is a technological war, using technology, propaganda, and psyops to oppress and control you. Black intelligentsia, please share the new black media, counter propaganda arms, make it plain TV.